Alright, so today we're looking at the JVC Marshmallow Plus. It was noise cancellation. This specifically is the HA25T or HA25T. Excuse me. Look at those delicious ear tips. So the whole thing about these is the ear tips. You see, if you know me, you know that I hate these whole fucking silicone tips on the ends of earbuds. I really can't stand them. They're not good. They're really uncomfortable for my ears. They jam wax down into there. They don't really get a good seal. They just are uncomfortable while they're in there. They slowly work their way out of my head. I can never get quite the right fit. They just don't really work no matter how many I've really tried. So I thought, after reading up some stuff on something like these, essentially they have memory foam ear tips. And the whole idea behind them is that they're supposed to have, a better fit. They'll seal better. They'll get, the whole um, like the seal, so you get better sound, better noise canceling. They'll be a lot more comfortable, be able to breathe more, and hopefully, I'm just kind of hoping they'll solve all my problems with, you know, earbuds in general with this, so I can have all those benefits without the negatives of the silicone tips. That was the thought. So I decided to take a gamble on these, and I got these for about $50. They cost 70 regularly, but I got them for about 50, and gave them a shot. And inside of the box, we got a couple other things there as well. It does come with, your typical. I already took it out, so it'd be easier to see. A few pamphlet things of paper, so that's handy. They also give you the charging cable. Not like it's a real long cable here, but it does. You don't need it to be real long for this. You're gonna set it next to your thing, I guess, probably. They also give you a little paper pouch of other tips, and well, thing is, they have like weirdly, um, eh, they weirdly have also silicone tips in here, which is a little bit like, well, why? Because most things come with those anyways. So you think, if anything, you'd want to have the memory foam tips and have more of them. They have two sizes of memory foam and three sizes of silicone, and I lost one of the tips already, so that's great. But it was a silicone one, so I don't care. And the difference really is supposed to be like, with the memory foam stuff too. You can kind of see. I don't know how well it's going to show up on my camera here. Let's just zoom in a little, maybe, and see what we can see. Um, But like, so here are the two different tips. They don't look super different on the back, more so because the way they go in. And you can see, like, if I squish them, these take a little bit of time to like come back because they're memory foam. So, it's not like a world of difference there, but um, you know, the other thing is that silicone tips are more durable, is kind of the thing. That's why most headphones, like earbuds, have those. Whereas the memory foam ones will get kind of dirty faster, they'll wear out faster, so you'll have to replace them more often. That's kind of why usually they come with silicone instead. So I was willing to bite the bullet and be like, if I have to replace these more often, that's totally fine if they're going to work better. I think I can live with doing that. And because of that, like I say, most earbuds don't come with them. What these did. That's specifically why I got this pair, because instead of getting a pair of, earbuds and then trying to find, special replacement tips for them immediately, I decided to just go for something that came with them out of the box, so I know they would work. That's kind of the incentive here, and also it's a marshmallow. Again, why didn't they come with more foam ones? Why do they come with silicone? It's nice that they have the option, but give us more of the marshmallow ones, like the name suggests. Also in the box, of course, you get the actual case here itself that they're in, and I've had this in my pocket for, probably a couple weeks now. I've been testing it out. You can see it's not, keeping up super well in my pocket with my keys. It's getting a few blemishes. It's getting some, kind of finger greasy kind of sections as well. It's not, holding up to the best scrutiny there, but it's not, like, destroyed yet, with this little charging thing on the back. And also, I say, like, the lights will come on here, I believe, to be, like, how charged they are. Nope, I have to take them out first. If I kind of go like this and do this, those lights in the front be like, yeah, I'm down to, like, this thing is flashing, so I think it's like a little bit of my battery is down. But yeah, case is fine. It does look pretty bulky, I know, because, like, for example, I'll go grab that quick. I have my AirPods, and the AirPods, well, uh, like you look at this and like I don't know, like that way you're like I don't know, it looks like this is smaller here, but then if you look sideways, like that, oh, there's some more bulk that way, I don't know. This has a flat bottom, you can set it up at least, I guess. But honestly, in my pocket, this really wasn't a problem. It's kind of like oblong and it's rounded enough around edges, so it didn't like feel like a huge like chunk in my pocket like I thought it would. So that's not too bad. Um, then you got the thing here themselves. I wish the door would stay open a little better, but you do what you can. Hello. Focus is always great in these, and I always pick the best lighting for these shots. So they kind of go in here, and they snap in pretty good. And let's take that out and set that off to the side as well, I guess. And these are the buds. These are the things. Oh, they're made to stick to each other. I didn't realize that. Okay, and yeah, they just kind of look pretty simple. And they are like labeled left and right somewhere on them, I believe, very smallly. Yeah, it's up in here, I think. We'll see left and right. There, left. Yeah, they're also a little gross because I actually just have been wearing them in my ears because they still do that, but they've been staying on everything. They work pretty well. They got this little area here to manipulate them once they're in your ear. And yeah, they're fine. For that, they'll go in there and uh, they have like the touch controls thing are pretty nice that they're like in the middle there, but they're not like super pronounced. So like I never like had troubles manipulating these in my ears and accidentally hitting that. I had to pretty deliberately press that. So it's always good that touch controls aren't overbearing like that. I also will say that like the controls are a little weird, I guess, for some of the stuff. Like I don't know, like I don't really use most of those, but they do a few different sound modes. The noise canceling doesn't do much. The noise canceling is pretty much like you get rid of a little bit of like background noise, a little bit of like white noise, air conditioning, fans, etc. A little bit of that goes away. You're gonna passively block some of that anyways with these in your ears, kind of like earplugs. Besides, so not a big deal. Um, but they do something rather than nothing, I suppose, which is always good. Um, and the simpler the ANC, the the less battery it's going to eat up for you, I guess. Which again, battery life. I've used these for a few weeks, and not like I've been using them hardcore hours and hours at a time, but I haven't had to charge them since I've charged them the first time, so they're still not even like half battery yet. So it's pretty good. Um, they're also have like a thing where it's like a ambient mode. It doesn't. It's not like it doesn't pass through audio or anything with the mics on the outside of this. What that does is it changes the volume. So it's kind of like your music kind of gets quieter for some reason, and then so like basically when things are loud around you, the music ramps up, and when things get quieter, the music quiets down. But it's supposed to be so you can kind of hear stuff around you still, and it'll like make it a more consistent volume. I think not a feature I really want, but that's something you can do. It also has three sound modes. It's got like normal, and it's got like bass, and I don't remember what the other one's even called. It's normal and bass, and I'm gonna look in the manual real quick here. Um, but basically, the normal mode is where I left it on most of the time because it's sounds normal, I guess. Um, I feel like it's what they intended you to hear for their balancing and all that. Whereas bass obviously just boosts the bass up, um, which is something some people enjoy. Um, and oh man, where is it? Where is it? You can also turn the noise cancellation off, I guess, as well if you want to count that as a mode. Um, oh, and the other mode is called clear, according to the um, fold-out roadmap that they put in here. Always great to get a poster of instructions instead of a booklet. Which clear, I think, is just pushing more of like the mids and a bit of the highs. And again, they sound fine for your taste, and none of them sound terrible. I think the sound overall is like good enough for this. These aren't like these are under $100, so I can't really expect a lot out of the sound. They don't sound cheap or tinny or like bad. There's not a ton of detail in them, but there's enough to get you by. If you listen to them for a little bit, you won't really think about it, and you'll just be like, yeah, this sounds good enough. This is fine, and like you'll just think about, how it feels and what you're listening to. You're not gonna think about the whole, but is the sound quality as good as it could be? It's not going to be like that. This is the sound of the mic on the JVC Marshmallow Plus, I guess, with noise canceling. Whatever the model is, what is it? The box is over here. It is says, oh, it doesn't say on the box like it did on the store page, so I actually can't say the model. Oh, here it is. HA-A25T. Rolls off the tongue. How could I forget it? Overall, yeah, they're totally doable things, I guess. But I don't really have too many complaints about them so far, other than there was a little bit of dropout in them. I noticed that like a few times, for seemingly no reason, they just kind of got like weird and like the signal kind of dropped a bit and then came back, or my music would stop for some reason, like they would cut out. I don't know what caused it. It only happened a couple of times, but in the limited amount of time that I listened to this for a couple of weeks, and they were just in my pocket, um, as was my phone versus the things in my ears. That's not great if that's like a connection issue, or I don't know if it was an interference issue, like people with a different kind of Bluetooth or something went by and it messed it up. I don't know. That's weird, but it is something to note, I suppose. However, the real issue with these is that unfortunately they did not fix my problem. They still like okay, so they are better than silicone for sure. They're way more comfortable when they're in my ears. They do stay in better, and I feel like they try to fit a little better. Like they don't work their way out of my ear as quickly, but they still do it. They also still jam earwax and stuff down into my ears and plug them up and make that feel uncomfortable to insert in the first place. And I still can't get the perfect fit on them. I can't do it. And to be fair, to their credit, like I say, they are again more comfortable. I was able to actually fall asleep with these in once, listening to like ASMR stuff. So like they are comfortable once they're in there, at least as opposed to silicone, which is just kind of uncomfortable the entire time for me. Um, but it's just the biggest problem, yeah, is that it's just like it still doesn't fix the audio issues and like the initial like insertion issues. I can't get the good fit, and that's not really their fault. To be clear, because I've used a bunch of silicone tips. I've tried these now, and I've found a bunch of different ones of these as well, different sizes. I've tried putting them at different angles into my ear, twisting them, turning them, moving my ear around to like make the ear hole more accepting of them or whatever. I've tried a bunch of different tricks here to make the tips work, and it doesn't happen. And so I think the real thing with this is that it's just I have weird ears. I can usually get at least one of them to fit well. Usually the left one fits better than the right one. And I've tried different size tips and stuff as well, and putting them in each one in different ways, and like I can usually get one in pretty good, and the other one is I have to get in just good enough. But they still slowly work their way out of my head, which I don't know if that's just a me problem or if that's an everyone problem. I don't know. But it's infuriating because it means that the sound quality is off, it's different, and it slowly changes as they work their way out of my head, and I have to keep fiddling with them to change them. Again, these are more comfortable. I fiddle with them less. It takes longer for them to be, falling out of my head. So I will say, if you like are allergic to silicone or something, or you want something that is more comfortable than silicone tips, then the memory foam tips are still a good idea. Definitely like don't count these out just because I don't like them. In fact, if you're going to leave a comment of anything, leave that. What you think of the memory foam tips, especially if you've used them for longer and you have more experiences to talk about. Let us all know in the comments what you think. I think that could help people out. I just know that these aren't for me. And like again, they're probably better than the options of like using silicone. They're better, especially if you were like allergic to that or something. But for me, I think I'll just continue using the tipless style of like my AirPods because, well, I mean that just is more comfortable and I can get sound that's good and consistent out of these. Which again is unfair because these are also much more expensive. But I can probably get cheaper ones that sound comparable to these and this stuff. And also are compatible with more than just Apple stuff. There are a lot of things that rip off AirPods that have good enough sound that you could also get as alternatives. I would point to that, but only if you don't mind giving up some of that actual noise cancellation of plugging your ears and the bass response that you probably might want if you want really bassy stuff in really tiny headphones just in your ears. It's kind of trading comfort for those options, I guess. So do with that what you will, but I did have fun with these, and like I will say, like I say, there's also a non noise canceling version that is just $50. I believe there is also at least a wired version that is even cheaper if you want that. So there are a few different options for this Marshmallow line of these JVC earbuds. But I just went with these because they were on sale for an okay price to try them out. And I don't regret the experience, anyways. And that's the fun part. Sometimes it's just fun to try out headphones. Like, cool, I get an excuse to listen to a bunch of stuff again. I mean, I couldn't just tell myself I can listen to what I want when I want to. But if I give myself an excuse and be like, no, I have to listen to my stuff because I know this song uh, for this video so I can judge it. I don't know. Yeah. So here, I'll point to it so we can get a nice thumbnail. We reviewed that. That'll I think that'll do.